comfortably closed. The secure attachment style. If you're secure, you're very reliable, consistent, and trustworthy. There's very little drama in your romantic text. No high and lows, no yes yes, no yo-yos, and roller coasters to speak of. They're attuned to their parents' emotional physical cues and know how to respond to them. Time and again, research shows that the best predictor of happiness in relationship is a secure attachment style. Studies demonstrate that individuals with a secure attachment report higher levels of satisfaction in their relationships than people with other attachment styles. They found that secure individuals maintain high levels of relationship satisfaction, commitment, and trust. But what's more interesting was that there was no observed difference between secure couples and mixed couples, those with only one secure partner. They both showed less conflict and were rated as better functioning than were the insecure dias. So not only do people with a secure attachment far better in relationships, they also created a buffing effect, somehow managing to raise their insecure partner's relationship satisfaction and the function to their own high level. This is very important finding. It means that if you are with someone secure, they nurture you into more secure stance. 맞아요. Decoding relationship behavior depends is not a bad word. What is attachment style? 2. Cracking and cause what is my partner's style? Okay. Living in resistance is for danger. The anxious attachment. Keeping love at arm's length. The avoidant attachment style. Getting comfortably close. The secure attachment style. Anxious avoidant trap. 맞아요. That's true. Escaping the anxious avoidant trap. How the anxious avoidant couple can find greater security. They could do that or no? Working things out. 5. Secure principle for dealing with conflict. 219. Okay. 39. 219. Effective communication, getting the message across. Using effective communication to choose the right partner. After a few days with Ethan. Okay. Also, relationship. Okay. Why is effective communication? Effective communication supports to achieve two goals. To achieve the right partner. Effective communication is quickest, most direct way to determine whether your prospective partner will be able to meet your needs. Your dates to respond to effective communication can reveal more in 5 minutes than you could learn in months of dating without this kind of discourse. If your other partner shows a sincere wish to understand your needs and to put your well-being first, your future together has promise. If he or she brushes your concern aside as significant, or makes you feel inadequate, foolish, or self-indulgent, you can conclude that this person doesn't necessarily have your best interest in mind, and that you are probably incompatible. To make sure your needs are met in relationship, whether it's a brand new or one of long standing, by spelling on your needs, you're making it a lot easier to partner and meet them. He or she doesn't need to guess whether something is bothering you or what the something is. The beauty of effective communication is that it allows you to turn as opposed to witnesses into assets. If you need to reassure a lot that your partner loves you and is attracted to you, at least in the initial phase of a relationship, instead of trying to conceal this wish because it is not socially acceptable to sound so needy, you state it as given. When presented this way, you don't come off as a weaker need, but as self-confident and assertive. Of course, effective communication means that you communicate in a way that is inoffensive and does not put your partner on the spot, but allows them to be open with you without feeling attacked, criticized, and blamed. Another advantage of effective communication is that it provides a role model for your partner. You set the tone for the relationship as one in which you can both be honest and in which it is the scared, sacred responsibility to look out for the other's well-being. Once your partner sees that you can be so open, he or she will follow suit. If you saw in chapter 8, it is never too late to start using effective communication to improve your relationship. It's one of the most powerful tools that people use in their everyday life with their partner, kids, and at work. It can really transform the way you handle yourself with the people around you. Okay. Judging the response. With effective communication, you might be able to solve a problem or resolve your differences in one shot. But you can judge immediately how important the well-being is to your partner. Does he try to get the bottom of your concerns? Does he respond to the issue at hand? Or does he try to dodge you? Does he take your concerns seriously, or does he try to belittle you or make you feel foolish if you raise them? Does he try to find ways to make you feel better, or is he only busy acting defensive? Does he reply to your concern only frequently, or does he also be tuned with your emotional well-being? If your partner is responsive and genuinely concerned about your happiness and security, you have a green light to go ahead with the relationship. If, however, your partner tries to obey important topics, acts defensively, or makes you feel foolish or needy, you should hit it as a serious warning sign. Okay. Why it is so hard for people with an insecure style to adopt effective communication? Effective communication almost seems like a no-brainer. After all people can do it once they set their mind to do it, right? Well, yes. As long as they're secure, often secure people cannot get in touch with what is really bothering them. They get overwhelmed by emotions and lash out. Studies show that people with insecure attachment style don't react to so strongly, don't get overwhelmed as easily, and can thus calmly and effective communication their own feelings and attend to the need for their partners. Secure people also believe that they are worthy of love and affection. They expect their partners to be responsive and caring. With these beliefs, it is to see why they don't let negative thoughts take over. how they can stay calm and collected and assume the other person will react positively. And in fact, this attitude can be infectious. Nancy Collins of University of California, Santa Barbara, whose main research interests include the social and cognitive processes that shape close relationships in adulthood and an impact that these processes have on health and well-being. Together with Stephen Reed at the University of Southern California, who studies neural network models of social reasoning and behavior, found that people with secure attachment seem to function as effective communication coaches. They report being good at getting others to open up and talk about the personal things. But what happens if you're not secure? Okay, if you're anxious, when you start to feel something is bothering you in your relationship, you tend to quickly get flooded with negative emotions that I think is extreme. 맞아요. Unlike your insecure counterpart, you don't expect your partner to respond positively, but anticipate the opposite. You perceive the relationship as something fragile and unstable that can collapse at any moment. Oh yeah, these thoughts and assumptions make it hard for you to express your needs effectively. When you finally talk to your partner, you often do it in a way that is explosive, accusatory, critical, and threatening. Rather than giving you the assurance that you're seeking, your partner will withdraw. In fact, constantly reconfirm this in their study. Many daily anxious partners report self-disclosing less often and the general level of communication is lower than others. The result is that after expressing your needs in a way that pushes your partner away, instead of using effective communication, you then resort to protest behavior, expressing your need for closeness and reassurance by acting out. By doing so, you miss out on all the benefits of this powerful tool. Unlike effective communication, protest behavior never gives you an opportunity to unequivocally address your concern. Your partner may respond negatively, but you're never sure if he or she is responding to your need or to your protest behavior. Say, for example, that you call your partner's cell phone instantly because you fear he's cheating. He decides that he had enough and break up with you. You are left in a second guessing, wondering if you're actually pushing him away by acting so clingy, or if he decided that he really just weren't right for him. You don't get an answer to your original concern, which is whether he cares enough to listen to your worries, assure you, and do whatever it takes to make you feel safe and loved. Therefore, despite your understandable fear of getting hurt, we advise you to avoid process behavior by taking a leap of faith and adopt effective communication. We can honestly say that everyone we've known who has used effective communication has been grateful for it in the long run. Often, effective communication brings about huge relief by showing you just how strongly your partner feels about you, and by strengthening the bond between you two. And even though in some instances the response may not be what you hoped for, and you will be convinced that you ruined everything, if only you had said and had done something else, he would surely have come around. I never heard anyone say in retrospect that they regretted raising an important issue. In dating and relationship setting, in fact, they overwhelmingly express gratitude that effective communications got them that one step closer to a long-term goal of either finding the right person or strengthening the existing bond. Take Hillary, for example. She was planning a romantic walk with Steve across the Brooklyn Bridge on a certain Sunday morning. But when she called him, he told her he'd started doing his laundry and would call her later. Seeing that Hillary was upset, her friend convinced her to call him back and urged him to finish his laundry after the walk. It was such a spirited that after all, reluctantly, Hillary made a call. Not only did Steve restate his decision to finish the laundry, he decided he didn't want to get together at all that day. Hillary was devastated. She was furious with her friend God talking her into calling him. She felt that by showing too much interest, she'd ruin her chances with Steve. Months later, a mutual friend told her that Steve was deeply depressed following his bitter divorce and was far from being interested or able to start a new relationship. Hillary realized that pushing the issue the morning had saved her from the grief that Steve's emotional unavailability would have undoubtedly caused her. At the time, Hillary was very upset with her friend and blamed her and ruining her chances with Steve. But she later realized that her friend had taught her one of the most developed lessons in relationships: how to effective communication her needs. This wasn't the first time Hillary felt asserted that she had fully and genuinely showed them in a relationship, no games played. Though things didn't work out with Steve, she knew that she had done her best to make it happen. She also began to discover, and more often than not, the reasons why people behave unkindly toward her have nothing to do with her attractiveness or desirability. Here's another example of how just starting what she wants without an apologist and it can be powerfully effective. For years, Tina, afraid of sounding desperate, wasn't upfront with the guys she dated about her great desire to get married and have children. When she turned 40 and her biological clock took in precedence over everything else, and she decided to tell potential partners on date number one that she not only wanted to be a mother, but was not only interested in dating men who also wanted to have a kid as soon as possible. Though she suspected, and rightly so, that most of the guys who heard this word and run in the other direction, fear of rejection was no longer Jenna's main concern. She did drive a few prospects away, but ended up meeting Nate, who, far from being threatened, wanted her safety. He found it refreshing that she knew what she wanted and wasn't afraid to say it. Usually, effective communication worked out well for her. Today, she and Nathan are happy partners of two. Like Jenna's Hillary, you too can learn how to use effective communication, even though it can be a scary prospect if you have an anxious attachment style. Okay, here's another example of how just understanding what you want without apologies can be powerfully effective. For years, Jenna, afraid of sounding desperate, wasn't upfront with the guys who dated her about her great desire to get married and have children. When she turned 40 and her biological clock took precedence against everything else, she decided to tell potential partners on date number one that she is not wanting to be a mother, but was only interested in dating men who also wanted to have a kid as soon as possible. Though she suspected, and rightly so, that most guys in her this wouldn't run in the other direction. Fear of rejection was no longer Jenna's main concern. She did drive a few prospects away, but ended up meeting Nate, who, far from being threatened, wanted the same thing. He found it refreshing that she knew what she wanted and wasn't afraid to say it. Using effective communication worked well for her. Today, she and Nate are the happy parents of two. Like Jenna and Hitler's work can learn how to use effective communication, even though it can be scary prospect if you have an anxious attachment style. Okay. Steve was deeply depressed following his bit of divorce, and it was sparked in being interested and being able to start a new relationship. He later realized that pushing the issue in the morning had saved her from a grief, and Steve's emotional unavailability would have undoubtedly caused her. At the same time, Hillary was very upset with her friend and blamed her in ruining her chances with Steve, but she later realized that her friend had taught her one of the most valuable lessons in relationships: how to effective communication her needs. Okay, if you're avoidant, although there is nothing that brings two people closer than understanding if you understood by each other, effective communication has something to offer the avoidant person as well. As someone with a avoidant attachment style, you are often aware of your need for distance and the separateness. You feel the need to get away, but don't understand why. When you get that feeling, you may assume that you're beginning to less attractive to your partner, in which case, what is there to talk about? He or she is probably not the one, so why prolong the outgoing? But then you find yourself in one failed relationship after another, repeating the same cycle again and again. If you're avoidant, then the first step, therefore, is to acknowledge your need for space, whether emotional or physical. When things get too close, and then learn how to communicate the need. Explain to your partner in evidence that you need some time alone when you feel things are getting too mushy, and that there is not a problem with him or her, but rather that your need is any relationship. This bit is important. This should cool their worrisome and somewhat calm and attachment system. They are then less likely to intensify their efforts to draw close to you, which is what makes you uncomfortable the most. Thus, there is better chance to avoid and pull from pursue withdrawal dynamic with your partner. Andres, who has a avoidant attachment style, had been married with Monica for about 25 years when he divorced, and he had a slowly progressive autoimmune condition. It was incurable, he was told, but given his age, his life expectancy would probably not be severely impaired. It would require a periodic lab test, though after the initial shock of discovery, Andres was able to push the thoughts about his condition aside and then move on with his life. Monica, however, wasn't able to do so. She believed that talking a business as usual approach was wrong. She tried to convince him on several occasions to get second opinion and though rough in researching on the internet about his condition. Anders was an unusual evade. These conversations brushed her medical suggestion aside, but sometimes it led to several clashes between them. Finally, after several months of the frustration, he confronted Monica. He knows that her involvement stems from worry and concern, but instead of helping, it only serves to remind him again and again his condition. He trusted his doctor and felt that there was no need for any further inquiry. He felt that Monica's behavior was not only ineffective in improving his health, but also harmful to their relationship. Monica realized that she wasn't helping Andres. It wasn't her way of dealing with such diagnosis, but it wasn't his. She understood that she could be better, more support to your partner by respecting his wishes instead of trying to force her own. Since then, Monica has been able to censor herself more and not completely, which has allowed any crashes in between them to diminish.